Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dissecting the Quran series show with myself, Dr. Kuffar. We got Brother Paul here. Unfortunately, Osama couldn't make it today. Mary might be coming in later. And as usual, I picked out a nice intro. At least I hope it's nice. So let's start off with that, and then we can go to the flying mountains of the Quran. Here we go. Okay, this one was short and sweet. I couldn't find any long ones. All right, let's switch over and okay, let me blow this up. We should definitely be able to see that. Okay, we have nobody on the show yet, but that's okay. All right, so we're picking up on verse 171. And according to Brother Usama, this is the story of the magic flying mountain. All right, 171. And when we raised the mountain over them as if it had been a shadow, and they thought it was falling on them, take what we give to you with strength, and remember what is in it. Perhaps you may fear. Now, I'm assuming this is Allah speaking. That doesn't make any sense. Take what we give to you with strength. Take what?
Well, we give to a mountain able to crush you.
Yeah. And where exactly is this mountain? Because we should be able to find a mountain that has
well, it's flying around.
That's shows evidence that it was raised up, and so we should find cracks, like the cracks on the moon, because Allah split the moon in two for Muhammad. And it says, and remember what is in it. What is in what? In the mountain?
I think it's remember what is in the flying mountain. I'm here to scare you.
Okay. Ooh, my favorite topic here. Okay. Male sperm comes from the backbone. This is one of the many scientific errors in the Quran that no Muslim likes to debate with me on. All right, 172, but this is not the one that I like to use. We haven't gotten to that chapter yet. 172, and go ahead.
I was going to say we can refer to it.
That's in chapter 86, and it has really nothing to do with the children of Adam. All right, so 172, and when your Lord took from the children of Adam their descendants from their backs and made them to testify against themselves, I am not your Lord, they said. Yes, we testified that you should say on the resurrection day, surely we were unaware of that. Okay, so Adam...
It says, am I not your Lord? They said, yes, we testified that you should stay on. That doesn't even make, it's not even sensical that you should stay on the resurrection day. Surely we, I mean, what is it? I mean, it doesn't connect the resurrection day to somebody saying they are Lord. I guess, again, if this is Allah speaking,
yeah,
surely we are unaware of that. Again, clear as mud. I mean,
I'm more concerned with Allah's knowledge of biology. And when we took from the children of Adam their descendants from their backs, so the descendants of Adam's children came from their backs.
Gee, you have to wonder where his if he's really God, if Allah is really God, and the descendants, if he thinks that this is where we can see the limitations of a small, little bitty, teeny weeny little God that you can take out of a thimble, and and maybe if it's that big, and he'll tell you what the entire human body looks like inside. Come on, he doesn't know where sperm is made. He doesn't know. I mean, and he doesn't know where there's such a thing as ovaries. from their backs. I mean, there's probably some mythology behind this, is all I can think of, but
Well,
I have a hard time believing that there was a
there is a
mythology.
hadith that basically says Allah ran his hand through Adam's back, and all the humans that are ever going to be born fell from his back. Now, okay, how does that make sense? I have no clue, but yeah, and we see this here in the Quran. Apparently, from the children of Adam, their descendants came by Allah making their kids from their back. Okay, 173. Or you say, surely our fathers before partnered other gods with Allah, which I don't believe is in the Arabic, and we were their offspring after them. Will you destroy?
You says where it says partner, that what he put that in the brackets for. He wants people to understand that that's what the Muslims mean by saying partnered other
Right,
gods with Allah.
but the Muslims who are smarter than Allah, because Allah forgot to put that in his verse.
They'd have to figure it out.
In his clear, and every verse is explained in detail book, he forgot to say what partnered was. Okay.
Yes, he didn't define it.
Will you destroy us because of what the liars did? I don't know. What did the liars do, and who are these liars?
What are they lying about?
I guess maybe
surely our fathers before partnered other gods with Allah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. It's a clear.
Well, here's the truth behind that. If you look at Lloyd just did this. Lloyd is doing this wonderful piece on the history of Arabia and some of the cultural aspects of the previous gods. And, they talk about a lot and many other things that have to do with it. Lloyd de Jong, and fascinating. And he gets into some of these things about where these other gods were partnered with Allah,
right?
The moon god. So yeah, that's I think this is a direct reference to those partnerships, and I think that was the big concern. So he's trying to separate. This is Muhammad trying to say Allah is bigger and better. That's why he keeps the Allah Akbar. I think it's an actual reference to pre-Islamic times where Allah was just one of many gods.
I mean, it could be because we do know that Allah is, according to Moses, Allah is the best of forgivers, which is plural.
Again,
which means three, which means at least three.
Mm-hmm.
We do know that Allah is the best of creators, again, meaning three or more.
Mm-hmm.
So, but even though Allah claims to be, or the Muslims claim that Allah is one, but Allah is singular, but likes to use plural in his speech when he's talking about things that things that he does or things that he's best of.
The funny thing here is the royal we doesn't fit.
Right.
And I keep hearing excuses like, well, that's the royal we. Well, if you're using the royal we is actually a reference to it's talking about a human and God. That's what the royal we is used for. It was to refer to a king or a royal person and God, and giving them the ultimate authority when they made a statement. So, yeah.
Or to when the king was talking about himself and, let's say, the people that would be in his court.
Well, in general, no. The preference, no. The royal we was used never for that. It was used. The purpose of the royal we was to refer to themselves and God, and giving out commands and things.
I'm gonna have to do a little digging on that.
Yeah, I just did some history on it. That's why I checked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can use, that's the royal we. When you're talking about yourself and others, that's a we.
Apparently, there seems to you can also use we, us, or our
Yeah.
to refer to just one person, which is kind of weird.
That that doesn't follow grammar structure, so I don't know, that's something new maybe because they're saying that, there are people who call themselves they and their, that's their pronouns, or we and us now.
Yeah.
They're now a plural. Yeah, that's sad. They're trying to kill grammar so we can't make sense. Maybe Islam will make sense then.
Like I said, I think the liberals are learning from Allah. Okay, so we're at 174. So we don't know who these liars were that they were destroyed. 174. And likewise, we expound on the verses, and perhaps they may return. Now, this
What
is definitely
what
Allah
verses?
speaking.
You talking
We
about
don't
the
know.
verse just before?
I don't know.
But the funny thing is, I mean, we don't. Just so much nonsensical about this.
And perhaps they may return. Like you said, Allah is the God of perhaps, the God of maybe.
Hmm.
Okay, 175. And recite to them the news of him to whom we gave our verses. So he departed from it, so that Satan followed him. So he was of the seduced. Okay. And recite to them. Who is he talking to?
And this
Now,
is where it
Muslims
gets.
say this is Muhammad, but really, would you know that this is Muhammad? I have no clue who.
There's nothing here clarifying who's who. And thank you, Dragon, for joining us. um, Recite to them the news of him. News of, okay, who gave our verses. Well, my understanding is it wasn't Allah who gave the verses. It was this Jibril guy. Because Allah doesn't speak directly to Muhammad. It's Jibril who does all this work.
Oh, maybe it's referring to Moses, because we do know that in the Quran, Allah did speak to Moses. He's actually the only prophet that he communicated with and didn't have to send Jibril.
Well, I mean, there's a story where Allah goes, I mean, when Muhammad ascends up and, for
Yeah, it goes to
prayers,
the.
but again, he has to go check with
Yeah, and I had a
Moses.
Muslim on Clubhouse say that that's talking about Moses, the story of the Miraj.
Mm-hmm.
That's Moses, and it doesn't mean that he went to see, Allah in the heavens. But I don't know. Some Muslims have some weird.
Yeah.
It says, and recite to them the news of him. Okay, who's him? To whom we gave our verses. So this him was given verses. So he departed from it. So that Satan followed him. So that he was seduced. Who is this person that was given verses, but he didn't
That
like
could
the
be
verses?
Muhammad, because we do know he did say, give some verses that are called, quote, satanic.
Right, it's satanic verses. So again, this is very coherent. It's so coherent that you don't know what the hell he's talking about. I mean, I have no clue.
This could also be why the people in Arabia considered Muhammad possessed, if this is talking about Muhammad.
Yeah, I mean, because
recite to them the news of whom we gave our verses, so he departed from it. So, I mean, we don't even know if those are the same persons. Recite to them the news of him, of whom we gave our verses, so he departed from it, so that Satan followed him. So he was of the seduced. So that just tells you if you read the verses of the Quran, you can easily be seduced by Satan.
I mean, it reads like he's telling somebody to recite to a group of people the news of him, of another person who Allah gave verses, but he departed from the verses and Satan followed him and seduced him. So we don't know who this person is supposed to, who this reciter is, and who this person that was given the verses who was seduced by Satan. Could be Muhammad. We don't know. Very interesting. 176. And so I'm assuming this is Allah. And if we will, we would lift him up with it, but he clung to the earth and followed his desire. So his parable is like the parable of the dog which pants. Okay, so we would lift him up with it. Is he talking about lifting this person up with the mountain? Because this is the dealing with the mountain that was.
I don't think that Allah knows what a parable is. Right? So it
Or
says
pants.
so the parable of the dog which pants if you chase him, or pants if you leave him alone.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
What kind of parable is this?
Such as the parable. I mean, that a parable is a story that teaches. All right. This is not even a clear story. Dogs pant all the time.
So basically, he's saying if you chase the dog, he's going to pant. If you don't chase the dog, he's going to pant.
What's the message here?
That dog's pants. Actually, it's pants.
Well,
I'm thinking of pants like, pants that you wear. So basically, it's not really telling me anything, because it's like you said, my dog pants all the time, even when she doesn't do anything.
right.
But what's the story? If you chase the dog's gonna pant. If you don't chase the dog's gonna pant. So I'm not really getting anything from here.
So then it says, such is the parable of those people who denied our verses. Okay.
I mean,
so
I would deny the verses because he just confused the hell out of me. He didn't really say much. Okay.
And not only did he not say much, he didn't make any sense. So narrate the stories, perhaps they may reflect. Narrate what story? There was no story.
I mean, seriously,
the backbone, and that's where your descendants come from. Okay, that's a story if you ever heard one.
Okay, so you read 177, or
that was the finish of 176.
Okay. All right, 177. Evil is the likeness of those people who denied our verses, and they were treating themselves unjustly. Now, why would anybody treat themselves unjustly? That doesn't make sense. Whomever Allah guides, so he is guided, and whomever he leads astray, so those are the losers. So again, we have a God who plays 50-50 Russian roulette with you, because you don't know if Allah is going to guide you or if Allah is going to misguide you.
I mean, it's quite a statement. No. You can't trust this God because he doesn't care. He doesn't really care about you.
He does what he wants.
Him, it's his fault.
I mean, you basically have a God who depends on what side of the bed he gets up on the morning. He might guide you if he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed and he's in a pissy mood because somebody burnt his French toast, then he's going to not guide you. All right. Allah created some people and some jinn to burn in hell. I mean, how do you know that you're not of the people? Now, we clearly can dismiss the jinn because you and I are not jinn. But how do we know that how do Muslims know that they're not of the people that Allah created just to burn in hell? Talking about this. So was it yesterday? Might have been yesterday or the day before. I opened up a room. Now, this was a sincere room. And the title of the room was, how many good deeds does a Muslim have to do to be assured of going to heaven? I couldn't get any Muslims to come into the room to answer that question, because Islam seems to be based on rewards, even though Allah says that he creates you for hell or heaven before you were born. Here we have Allah basically saying that some of the people he's just going to create to burn in hell. I guess he needs some fuel, So again, this is not a religion that I would bet my life on, because you have absolutely no idea if you're going to heaven or hell, or if you're of the people that Allah created just to burn in hell. Indeed, we have created for hell many of the jinn and the humans. They have hearts. They do not understand by it. I'm sorry. Do we understand by our hearts, or do we understand by our minds?
I will say that there is some clarity there, that there, understanding with your heart is actually important. So it means you innately you understand something. And if you don't have, if something's not in your heart, you're not going to sometimes, you may have it, but you might not understand it.
Okay. I guess sometimes sometimes your heart gets you into trouble. Like dating this gal that I shouldn't have dated, but I wasn't thinking with the right mind.
Okay.
And I put up with
Oh yeah.
for a year
And
until
they
I
have
woke.
eyes they do not wait, they have eyes they do not see by it.
Okay.
And they have ears they do not hear by it. But I mean a singular here. It singular. I mean, those are like the livestock, but they are even more astray. Those are the unaware. Wow. I mean that's not even clear in anything.
I mean, you got eyes, which clearly, you and I have two, so that's plural. It should be, and they have eyes. They do not see with them, would make better sense. And they have ears, but they do not hear but they do not hear with them. Yeah, okay. Those are like the livestock. Oh man, is he comparing people to cows?
Just a second. I'm sorry. I got to text somebody.
All right. All right, we got three
It
people.
doesn't make sense. I mean, when it comes down to it, doesn't and to Allah is the best. It just doesn't make sense. He doesn't. He's so unclear. This is just troublesome.
But I think he just compared those people to cattle
Okay,
because those are like the livestock. I was finishing up
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Those are like the livestock, but they are even more astray. Those are the unaware. But if they're unaware, why are you bitching and complaining? If you're unaware that you're astray, shouldn't somebody give you the nudge and put you on the right path?
Well, these livestock could be camels, they could be sheep, but I mean, he's basically saying you're a dumb animal. And I don't have another way to put it because livestock, I guess that's the closest you can compare.
Don't livestock use their eyes to see and their ears to hear? But he's comparing the people
saying
who
if you don't, and indeed, so he's purposely closed the hearts, and that's how the hearts that can understand. He's purposely closed the eyes that can see. He's purposely closed the ears that can hear, and and it's all on Allah. I mean, Allah has decided that we should follow Jesus. Is how you can look at that. I mean, if I don't want to follow Allah, I think he's crazy and stupid the way he communicates. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but supposedly these group of people they're also of those who are unaware. So if you're unaware, that means you do not have knowledge of whatever it is that you're supposed to have.
Well, that's quite a statement. Yeah.
Because remember we read where the people that he supposedly drowned, with the plagues and all that, they were punished for the signs that they didn't know because they were unaware of the signs, something like that.
Yeah, and they couldn't. I mean, how can you be punished for something you have you
have no knowledge of? Okay, 180. And to Allah is the best names. So call on him by them and leave those who pervert in his names. Well, could Allah give us some of those names? Because all the so-called names are not names, they're attributes.
Well, I mean, this gets interesting because that's the truth of the matter. The most of the quote names that's exactly what it is. I mean, there's a few. When we talk about the name of the Christian God, we have Jesus, we have the Holy Spirit, we have the Father, and there are other names like Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God. I mean, there's, but again, most of those would be attributes, but
right,
those are actual titles in many ways.
Titles, but not a proper noun.
I'll be right back. I got to take this. Sorry.
Okay, I'll keep reading. Okay, they will be rewarded of what they were doing. We don't know what they were doing, but they're going to be rewarded. 181. And among those whom we've created is a nation with God, which guides with the truth and by it acts justly. Which nation is this that Allah created? We don't know. And then we go back to 182, and those who denied our verses, we will gradually bring them from where they do not know. Okay, well, looks like Allah is finally going to guide them.
Guide them to what, though?
I don't know. Well, those are the people who denied the verses. He's gradually going to bring them from where they do not know, I guess, to where they do know. But 183 says, and I delayed them. Okay. Now, maybe that's why he's gradually, because he's delaying the gradually. Surely my scheme is strong. Ooh, Allah likes to scheme.
He's a schemer.
Yeah.
No, schemers are people that, those are guys we get happy when we lock them up.
Yeah. All right. Here's some fun stuff. Some thought Muhammad was possessed by jinn.
Oh.
Well, I guess jinn are equivalent to demons.
Demons, yes.
Yeah. 184. Okay, so these are people talking here, or about what people used to say about Muhammad. Or do they not think that what is in their companion is from the jinn? But he is only a plain warner. Notice that we've never really seen Allah throughout the whole Quran actually say that Muhammad was one of his prophets. He's a warner.
Okay.
So
he's a
now
warner.
this, who are these the people surrounding Muhammad that are saying, or do they not think that what is in their companion is from, let me see, 13 is Muhammad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense. Their companion Muhammad is from the jinn.
Or do they not think that what is in there, and that's quite a statement. What is in Muhammad is is demons. That's basically what it's saying. But he is only a plain warner. Wait a minute. That's not saying that he's not possessed. You notice that?
Yeah.
He's only a plain warner, but it doesn't negate it. That's the thing that kills me. He's only a plain warner. Okay. It doesn't say he's a prophet. I mean, their companion, they're saying he is of them. It's the other part. The companion would mean he's at least of those people he's talking to. But wow.
So I guess we have one group of people talking about another group of people saying that their companion might be possessed by a jinn, but he is only a plain warner. And they have to throw the plain in there. He's not even a warner.
But again, we can't know this is Muhammad because there's nothing there telling us that.
He's just
even though Usama tells us that, we wouldn't know that from just reading this.
Yes. Or have they not looked into the kingdom of the heavens and the earths and what Allah created from a thing?
What thing?
Who knows?
A thingamabob.
Yeah, because
isn't that what Mary was saying that one day?
Allah created from a thing. What thing? And that perhaps their end may be drawing near. Wow. No, this doesn't sound like 1400 and something years. It's like, drawing near.
I've met people that do that, go around and saying, hey, the end of the world is near. Okay. Yeah. 40 years later, the end of the world is near. Okay. I thought you were doing this.
Yeah. Could you define near for us? Because I do know that Allah and Muhammad have a problem with the word near, because if you read the hadiths, the day of judgment should have come and gone already. It's 1440 years later. We're still waiting for it. That was the reason why the moon was split asunder or ripped asunder, because according to Ibn Kathir, that was a sign of the imminent demise of the world. That's not even using the word near. That's imminent. Imminent, like, okay, I better start preparing for it. Let me get my bug out bag. All right, so Allah created from a thing. We don't know what that thing is, and that perhaps their end may be drawing near. Okay. So by what speech after this will they believe? I don't know. 186. Whomever Allah leads astray, so there is no guide for him. Now, this is very important because this is telling me if you're led astray, no amount of dawah is going to help you become a Muslim.
And it says right there, he'll leave them in rebellion blindly.
Mhm.
So again, he doesn't care. Allah doesn't care. He doesn't. Again, he likes sending people to hell.
So
he likes people who sin.
This defeats we have free will, right?
Yeah.
To choose what we do. But if you read chapter 7, Muslims, verse 186, it clearly states, whomever Allah leads astray, so there is no guide for him, and he will leave them in their rebellion blindly. So
wait a minute. If Allah leads astray, there's no guide for him. Okay, I guess this is okay. I was going to say, wait a minute. It sounds like Allah needed a guide for a second, but this is just.
Yeah, no, it's talking about the ones who lead astray.
Yeah.
But here we have God leading people astray so that nobody can help guide those individuals.
It's quite a statement about who Allah really is too, because if he leads people astray, he's deceiving them.
Yeah. And he's going to leave them in their rebellion blindly.
He's happy you're rebelling.
But he's the one that put them in that predicament. He's the one that led them astray and put them in their rebellion.
That's how big this little God is. Yeah, he likes people who are lost.
All right. All right. Now, remember, Jesus didn't know the hour. 187. They ask you about the hour when its arrival will be. Okay. Surely the knowledge of it is only with my Lord, and none will make it clear in its time but him. Okay.
Clear. Wait a minute. Was there any clarity in that statement?
But isn't that kind of like what Jesus said? That, only the Father is, is the one who's going to be able to tell you when the end time is. But
that's a lot more clear. I mean, we don't have to go back and pick at words. Surely the knowledge of it. We don't know what it is. Only with my Lord, none will make it clear it is time. We don't know what time he's talking about. I mean, but him.
And we do know that
it is heavy in the heavens and the earth, and it will not come to you except suddenly.
Yeah. So it's not going to come in slow, it's not going to trickle down. It's just going to bang, it's going to come on you.
This is the reason why Muhammad is afraid of rainstorms.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I used to talk about that.
So it's not going to come to you except suddenly. They ask you as if you know about it. Say, surely its knowledge is only with Allah. But most people do not know. But wait a minute. Most people do not know what? That the knowledge is only with Allah?
Well, again, if you don't know, who cares? What's the issue?
Okay, 188. Say, okay, so now we know that Allah is telling somebody to say something. We don't know who, so we're going to have to assume that it's Muhammad. Okay, so we go back to 188. Say, I do not have control to benefit or harm myself, except what Allah wills. So if you harm yourself or you benefit yourself, it's only because Allah decided that he's going to let you benefit or harm yourself. Okay. So if you commit suicide, you can blame Allah because he's the one that made you commit suicide, because he's the one that has control over everything. If you were knowing of the unseen, I should increase in the good and the evil would not touch me. If I were knowing of the unseen. Okay. If I were known. Okay. that I am only a warner and an announcer of good news to a believing people. So here, sounds like Muhammad is telling the people that he is only a warner. So I'm going to guess that next thing the Muslims are going to say that an apostle, a warner, a messenger, and a prophet, they're all interchangeable. They're like changing your underwear. One day you might wear a Speedo, the next day you might wear a boxer, but it's still an underwear. Okay, because if you're a warner, then I don't know. Sounds like you're not a prophet, but that's just me. All right, so 189. He is who created you from one soul and made from it its wife that he might dwell in her. I'm gotta guess this has something to do with sexual. Yes, have sex with her. Yes.
Okay, so
All right.
he's created from one soul. Oh, wait, out of the back, right?
Well, that was the children. That was the descendants of the children of Adam.
Yeah.
But even the children of Adam came from his back when Allah wiped his, rubbed it, ran his hand.
He created you from
Okay,
one
he is
soul.
created. He is who created you. Well, I guess we could say that is true if we go back to and made from its wife. Made from it what? Well,
its wife. Whose wife?
I guess he's saying that Allah created Adam's wife from Adam, but he doesn't say how. So that he may have sex with her. Now, notice he didn't create Eve.
But it doesn't say it. I mean, we're not even. It's nothing here stating this is about Adam. I mean, we'd have to go.
No,
far
I'm just
back
saying.
up.
Yeah, you wouldn't know, but yeah, you kind of get a. But apparently, he didn't create a woman for companionship, to be a mother. No. He created her so you can have sex with her. Okay. So when he covered, what's 15? Oh, this is good. So when he had sex with her, I'm assuming he's referring to somebody.
Could be Adam.
It could be Adam, could be Allah, could be Muhammad. Okay, so when he had sex with her, she bore a light burden and went about with it. She bore a light burden.
Okay, could that be pregnancy?
Why couldn't Allah just say she bore a child?
She became pregnant,
or she became pregnant.
Well, maybe this has to do with Allah being a light, shining a light on the vagina.
Could be. All right. So when he had sex with her, she bore a light burden and went about with it. So when it became heavy, they called on Allah, their Lord. If you give us Salai, which is 16, a son's name. I'm not. Okay, so when you give us, Salih, a son's name, we will surely be of the thankful. So when you give us, who's us?
If we say that's Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve.
Okay.
We will surely.
So now we're talking about this. Now we will surely be thankful, and a son's again. It's not very clear, unfortunately.
Okay.
Again.
So
if you give us a son's name, then we know that this has. But if we're talking about Adam and Eve, who is this Sally?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we have Seth, we have Adam and Eve, and they have who? They have Cain and Abel.
Right.
And then there's Seth. There's no Sally.
Maybe that's the Arabic.
And we know that there's tons of children later, but those are the three that are the first three.
Okay, so no mention of Cain and Abel. If you give us, we will surely be able to thankful one night. So when he gave them Salih, they set up with him partners of what they had given them. This does not make any sense, man. I am losing. They set up partners with him.
So
who set up
Adam
partners?
had partners. So when they set up
Adam and
and gave
Eve,
Ali,
and
they set up with him partners.
of what he had given them. What did he give them?
I'm
The
confused
kids?
reading that. Yeah. So when he gave them Sally, they set up with him partners. I just want to see if what is that? What is that one with the? Is it the Corpus Quran that has those answers, or is it?
What?
Or is it the Corpus Quran, or what is that has that Hadith connections? I mean, not the Hadith.
No, yeah, I think you're talking about the tafsirs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Corpus Quran has tafsirs.
That is
You have to go to Quran
full. Quran full?
Quran X.
Quran X. Okay, let's try that.
Quran X.
7, and we're in one. What verse again?
This would be 189.
All right.
This does not make sense.
Let me find it, and I'll. That's and just the Quran is just clear as mud. That's it, people. It's clear as mud. All right. So we have a boss, Tanwir al-Mikbas. He wrote, he it is who did create you from a single soul. This is the soul of Adam alone, and therefore did make his mate. And from the soul of Adam, he created his wife, Eve. Again, there was no mention of the word Eve there, was there?
No.
That he might take rest in her, with her. Take rest in her. How is can somebody tell me how sex is restful? An act of sexual intercourse. That's not restful. And when he covered her, again, and when he made love to her, he wrote, she bore a light burden and she passed unnoticed with it. She stood up and sat down because of pain. Okay, that could be okay. But when it became heavy, when the child became heavy in her womb, he says, they thought because of Satan's whispering that it was a beast.
Where could you please explain to me, Paul? Where did these guys, because the tafsirs are 300 years after Muhammad died, where did they get this from? Did Allah tell them this? Because if you read these guys, every single one of them has a different idea of what the verse means.
Jalal al-Jalayan, however you say Jalalayan.
Jalalain, yes.
He that is God, it is, who created you from a single soul, namely Adam. And this is the again, they mention Eve, whose name is never mentioned in the Quran that I've seen, that he might take rest in her and become intimate with her. Then when he covers her, when he had sexual intercourse, well, he says it right there. She bore a light burden, namely the sperm drop. Wait a minute. Where's that sperm come from? The backbone?
And I didn't know that a sperm drop was a light burden. I'm pretty sure you don't feel the millions of sperms that enter the female vagina.
and move to and fro with it. That is, she came and went easily on account of its lightness, but when she became heavy because of the child growing inside her, and they became anxious that it should be a dumb child, they cried out, Lord, you give us if you give us one child that is sound, unimpaired, we indeed shall be thankful. I mean,
okay, so this one says a dumb child, the other one said a beast.
Yeah. So they have no clue. They have no clue.
Yeah, so I mean, seriously. And how do they know that this is what Allah was trying to say in the clear as mud Quran? Hey, look, it's our buddy Aladdin. Hey, Aladdin, man.
Dancer.
I hear you are on Clubhouse, man. Me and What Do, we're having a room at 6 o'clock tonight. And what's the room topic? According to Muslim logic, Socrates was an American. Because yesterday Muslims were telling us, oh, Jesus is a Muslim because, a Muslim is one who submits their will to the one true God. And Jesus is a Muslim because he prayed like a Muslim. So Rachel, one of the gals that we met on there,
he doesn't pray anything like Muslims. Muslims stand up.
And what's funny is, hey, Jesus Forever is that a gal that we become friends. She was like, well, based on that logic, Socrates believed in democracy. So Socrates was really an American, right? So she's
I
like,
love it.
you guys need to open up a room. So we're doing one at 6:00. So
I might
Aladdin
join you
is
for that one.
here. Hey, guess who is here? Your master and teacher to school you. Yeah, you keep on.
Again, you have to know the topic, Aladdin, and
Yeah.
apparently you don't know your own Quran. That's crazy. When's the last time you've gone through it on your show, verse by verse, from all the way through it? I don't think you've done that once. You take pieces and put things together here and
Okay,
there.
but
Yeah,
but Paul, even from the commentaries, I thought the first two sons of Adam and Eve were Cain and Abel.
correct.
So who is this Salah, whatever?
Well, it's because Allah doesn't know.
Yeah. Maybe Aladdin can tell us.
Yeah, I
Who?
mean,
First of all, we don't know that this is referring to Allah. The only thing that I'm sorry, Adam, that we can assume is talking about Adam is because it says, what was it say that created from one soul, which would be we all came from Adam. Okay, so Allah is exalted above what they partner. They partner who cannot create anything, and they are created. Okay, still. Again, this is mumble jumble from a fifth grader like Aladdin, because this is something Aladdin would write. Okay, and they cannot help them. Okay, who's they? I guess it's the partners. Nor can they help themselves. Okay, so these supposed partners that are being partnered with Allah, they can't help these people, and they can't even help themselves. And if you call on them for guidance, they will not follow you. But wait a minute. Okay, I'm confused. And if you call on them for guidance, who's calling on what? Because if the people are calling on these false gods, they will not follow you. So is he trying to say that the false gods won't follow the people that are asking for guidance? Is it the same to them whether you call them or whether you are silent? I don't know. Aladdin knows. 194. Surely those you call on rather than Allah are servants like you. So call on them. So they will answer. No, so they will answer you if you were truthful.
well,
Huh.
I mean that says something. He's saying it right here. I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think we have to read the next verse. Keep going because I think we have
Okay,
to see if he's talking about sarcasm or not.
do they have legs to walk with them? Or do they have hands to smite with them? Or do they have eyes to see with them? Or do they have ears to hear with them? Say, call on your partners. Then make your scheme against me. So do not delay me. Oh, okay. So this is Allah speaking. He is challenging the other idols and saying, do you have eyes? Do you have so Allah's got legs, he's got hands, he's got eyes, and he's got ears.
This is to me. I see this as a reference to the idolatry that existed when the concept of Islam was created. That they're
Yeah.
speaking about idolatry, where there were things created that were made out of stone or wood or whatever, and they were created. And do they really have ears? I mean, they can't hear. I mean, they're idols. I think that's a direct reference to idolatry. He
All
can't
right.
he doesn't have a concept of God that is bigger than an idol. That's what I think is getting. He's maybe he has a little bigger concept, but his only concept. Yeah, I guess that's his create. He doesn't understand who God the Father is, so he's treating he's trying to pretend he is God, and yeah, that's the story, I guess.
All right, so 196. We're getting close. So 196 says, surely my friend is Allah. So we know that this is
Wait a minute.
I'm
Wait
hoping
a minute.
somebody else, because
Oh,
it's
so it wasn't Allah speaking.
I mean,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I do know towards the end of 195, it does say, okay, so maybe Allah's, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. All right. Surely my friend is Allah, who has sent down the book, and he is the friend of the good. Okay, so Allah sent down the book. Please,
Which book?
what book?
I
Does
mean, the
Allah not
Quran
know the
was
name?
just a
Does
bunch of
Allah,
recitations.
does
That's what
Allah,
Quran is.
yeah. So does Allah not know the name of his books? Are his books unknown? Like the Muslims tried to tell us that the Gospels are from anonymous people because it says according to John and according to Mark and according to Luke and according to Matthew. So Allah sends down a book, but we don't know what this book is. So this must be a book according to someone besides Allah. Okay.
Well, it's a book according to the jinn, my understanding,
Yeah.
because or
And
what
again,
the
what book?
Jibril or
It,
whoever that
it,
is.
it can't be referring to the book. It can't be, this can't be Muhammad because Muhammad never got a book. He
Yeah,
never
thank
got
you.
an El Kitab. Let me go look at 196 and see. I'm going to go to Islam Awaken and see what the Arabic word is because I'm pretty sure it's, what are we, 196?
Yeah. Yes, 196.
Okay, come on. This is not the time for you to poop out on me. Come on.
You want me to do it?
It just popped up now. Okay, so let's see. Nope, it says the book. So it says El Kitaba. So it's a book. Now here's the thing. I'm going to go look at Corpus Quran and see if that is plural. So we go to Corpus because I don't know because it has an A at the end. I'm still learning about the grammar. So we're in chapter 7. What did I say, 196?
Yep, that's correct. 196.
Wow, look at that. We only have 10 more verses to go. 196. All right, go. Indeed, my protector is Allah who sent down the book. Okay, let's go word by word. Wally, my protector, who revealed the, okay, it just says, okay, it just says accusative masculine noun. So, okay, so it's
Singular
not,
there, most likely.
yeah. Because the next word is singular personal pronoun. Okay, so, okay, but it's the book. What book? I don't know.
I mean, whatever it is, even getting hit with a book should hurt.
And he sent down the book. Okay, 197. And they whom you call on rather than him, they cannot help you, nor can they help themselves. Okay, you told me that already. Okay, we don't know who he's talking about. And if you call them to the guidance, they will not hear. And you see them looking at you, and they do not see you. Okay, again, this is talking about idols. That the idols can't see and can't hear you, but Allah can.
I mean, Christians do this, and by the time this came out, there were several apologists who had written pieces. I mean, it makes you wonder if, maybe there was something that he had heard about even the words of Justin Martyr or Tertullian talking about the idolatry. And this is a sad, 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 they're very specific when they speak of this. So, I mean, I can't pull out the exact piece from Tertullian or Justin Martyr, who their works address this very, very specifically.
Right.
So again, it just shows that maybe he had some concept of Christianity, but it was so infinitesimally small that he couldn't grasp it.
199. Take forgiveness and command with good, and turn away from the fool. Okay, Muslims, you need to turn away from Allah. All right, 200. And if you are tempted by Satan with temptation, so seek refuge in Allah. Surely he is hearing and hearing, knowing. Now remember, if Satan tempts you, is because Allah allows Satan to tempt you. Because Satan is only doing what Allah allows. Because remember, everything is under the control of Allah. Surely those who feared when evil thought from Satan touches them, they remember. So behold, they see. Okay. Satan touches you. They remember. They remember what?
Well, it says something right there. I mean, if Satan touches you and they remember it, but if Allah touches you and they don't,
So behold, they see. Who sees? And what are they seeing?
yeah, that's a good
Okay.
question.
202. And their brethren will increase them in error. Okay, so your brothers are going to cause you to go in error. Then they will not stop short. They will not stop short of what? Again, these are incomplete sentences. Allah is an
So
incomplete
let's go
God.
back to that 202. And their brethren will increase them in error. Okay, we could put a period there. Then they will not stop short. Okay. Well, if you make that a complete sentence, it doesn't make anything clear still. It doesn't tell us what the error was. It doesn't tell you who the brethren were. It doesn't tell you what they stopped short of.
Yeah, Dragon. I think Aladdin probably just wanted to come by.
He likes to claim himself as a teacher, but he doesn't have the knowledge to be a teacher. And whenever he claims he doesn't even know the Quran well enough. I mean, if he did, he would dare to actually start doing what we're doing.
Yeah, I think his audience is probably in the low 80s as far as their IQ. So for them, he's like
I would go lower. I would go lower.
Yeah, I was gonna say because Allah's probably in the low 80s, so his audience has to be a little bit lower so they could actually think that he's actually smart. So you're right there. Okay, 203. And if you did not bring a sign to them, and if you did not bring a sign to them, they say, were it not that you had invented it? And if you did not bring a sign, so why would they say, were it not that you invented it? Invented what? The sign that he didn't bring? Okay, so this is.
So I think this is a comment that, I mean, they talked earlier about Muhammad being possessed, and now he's if you didn't bring us, they're asking him for signs to prove that he's not demon possessed and invented. Maybe he's talking about were not you that had invented the concept of Allah. Could that be it?
I don't know.
Can't tell. Not from this.
It says, all right. Say, surely I only follow what is revealed to me from my Lord. This is proof from your Lord and guidance and mercy to a believing people.
Well,
Okay.
if this is Muhammad speaking, he said he wouldn't give a sign. So all they did was ask for a sign to clarify that he's not demon possessed, that he's actually somebody who is of God, and he wouldn't do it. So he wouldn't prove he wasn't demonically possessed. So in that state, in that response, you have to sit there like, oh, so you're telling everybody you're demonically possessed. That's crazy.
So 204. 204. Let me look at the Arabic. I think it does say Quran. It does say Quran. Okay, so 204. And when the Quran is read, okay, then listen to it and hear. Perhaps you may receive mercy. Now, see, what is the Quran? So, is he reading from a paper? Is he reading from a book? Is he just reciting? We don't know.
That's where it gets humorous, because if Allah's reading,
Now, this is supposed to be continuation of say. So this is Muhammad. So, and when
we
the
know
Quran
that we know that Muhammad can't read.
Yeah.
So the word Quran is supposed to mean recitation. So when the Quran is my understanding is recitation and read are very, very, there's not much difference in the way they are in Arabic. So when the Quran is recited, when the recitation is recited, then listen to it and hear. Perhaps that would make sense to the listen and hear.
Yeah,
Perhaps
because according to the word for word from Islam Awakened, it says, and when is recited the Quran, then listen to it and pay attention so that you may receive mercy. That's a little bit more coherent than this one where it says, and when the Quran is read, well, who is reading the Quran? Because, like you said, it can't be Muhammad if Muslims tell you and me that Muhammad can't read, right?
Yeah, so it has to be the recitation, which in
Right.
Quran means recitation. So when the recitation is read, then listen to it and hear. That's perhaps you may receive. Again, God, Allah is the God of perhaps. He doesn't know. Muhammad definitely doesn't know, and I think he's really he's the puppet master of Allah.
Right.
Because he's using the same words that Allah keeps saying, the word perhaps.
Okay, and 205. And remember your Lord within yourself, imploring and fearing, and in a voice not loud, in the morning and the evening, and do not be of the unaware. Surely those who are with your Lord are not too proud to serve him, and they praise him, and to him they worship.
There's nothing
Okay,
clear. There's nothing
alhamdulillah.
clear there.
We have finished chapter 7. Ooh, chapter 8, the chapter of the spoils. Wow, we finally finished.
Hit chapter 8.
All right, let's go to the chapter of the spoils. This has got to be good. A portion of a revelation in the name of Allah, the merciful, because Allah needs to hear things twice. Allah is the God of repetition. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are breaking ground here. We are on chapter 8. They ask you about the spoils. Say the spoils to Allah and the messenger. Okay. So fear Allah and do good among yourselves and obey Allah and his messenger if you were believers. Okay, so the spoils go to Allah and the messenger. I guess nobody else anything, because is this like a 50-50 split?
Well, spoils are stuff you get from raiding people.
Right, but it says here the spoils are to Allah and the messenger. So what do the people that just finished fighting so they can get these spoils, what do they get?
Nothing. No.
I guess not.
That's the interesting part, because originally when this was being done, the raiders did this so they could all get their portion. And then Muhammad decided that, no, I'm going to take 20% and you guys can get what's left. And that's how that originally happened. So he got mad because people were taking stuff before he picked through it.
Well, it's supposed to be what he gets 20%. Allah gets 20%.
Allah gets 2.5.
Yeah, I don't know.
Allah gets 2.5, but Muhammad got 20.
According to this, Allah and Muhammad go 50-50. Okay. I think I like this deal, 50-50.
Well, he's only giving them, according to this, it's the 50-50, but zakat is only 2.5%.
Yeah.
So,
all right. I was going to say chapter, verse 2. Surely the believers are only those who, when Allah is mentioned, their hearts fill with fear. And when his verses were recited to them, it increased their faith, and they depend on their Lord. Well, I mean, if hearing the name of my God fills my heart with fear, I don't think I want that God. I mean, I want his name to fill my heart with joy, not fear. How about you?
I would like I have a personal relationship with Jesus,
Right.
He fills my heart with joy. Yeah, it's exactly right.
Now, when you hear
He
Jesus'
touches me
name,
personally.
yeah.
And this
Now,
this little God
yeah.
doesn't he's into, causing people to fear. I'm not gonna assert something that wants me
Now,
to be
let
fearful.
me ask you: when you hear the name of Jesus mentioned, does your heart fill with fear?
No.
Okay. Now you see why we don't follow Allah. I don't want to be in fear every time I hear my God's name.
I mean, if he's actually Satan, which many people believe,
Then yeah,
then yeah, I mean that kind of follows through why he's so in love with the concept of deceiving people. I mean, which we've read today. He's so in love with causing fear and terror, which we've read repeatedly almost every time we've done this.
all
It
right.
makes sense.
Okay, so 3. Those who perform the prayers and spend from what we provided them, those are the true believers. So you also, not only are you a true believer if when you hear Allah's name, your heart fills with fear, but you also have to perform the prayers. What it doesn't say what prayers and when to perform the prayers, and spend from what we provided them. Okay, that makes you a true believer. All right, they have degrees with their Lord and forgiveness and a generous provision. So I guess maybe that's why they say Jannah has different levels. Okay, you might be a lukewarm Muslim, but you're a Muslim, so maybe you only get, I mean, maybe you only get 6 virgins. And as you go up, well, let me see, there's 7 levels. Can you divide 72 by 7? Isn't that 9? I can't remember.
It'll be 9 something. You're gonna have to divide
Yeah.
up a few houris there.
May have to flip a coin for that last one. Okay, as your Lord gets you out of your house with the truth, and surely a group of believers hated it. So why does God need to get you out of the house? So does that mean when you find out about the truth, you're going to forsake your house, sell your house?
Well, again, here's something that I think that's extremely important here. As the Lord gets you out of your house with the truth, which means you're going to leave Islam, and it had been made clear, as if they were driven to death. I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead. As if the Lord gets you out of your house with truth, and surely a group of believers hated it. And this is the God of hate. I mean, the believers hate. I mean, there's not a mention of love here.
Oh, and by the way, each level is eight horse. So if you go to the first level, you get 8. If you go to second level, you get 16. And if you make it to the 7th level, now
Sounds
that's
like
when we're talking,
Gnosticism
you
to
get
me.
72.
That's what Gnosticism was built on. I mean,
Yeah.
when you had that secret special knowledge to get to another level of heaven, and this is where, I mean, the concept of Allah is built on this. I mean, the secret knowledge, but because it's definitely not clear in the Quran.
Okay, so as the Lord get you out of your house with the truth, and surely a group of the disbelievers hated it, disputing with you about the truth after it had been made clear, as if they were driven to death while they were looking on. Okay. And when Allah promised you that one of the 2 assemblies should fall to you, and you desired that those who had no thorns, weak, should be yours, and Allah desired to prove the truth with his words and to cut off the last of the infidels. Okay, I mean, this is
Well,
not.
wait a minute. I mean, how do we know that there's going to be a last of the infidels? I mean, that he keeps, and he's the one who makes us. He keeps saying that over and over again. He's the cause. If he's the cause of deception. So if he's really God, I don't know why he's into deception. But again, I think he's just a little small God that can take out and put him back again.
Well, I mean, this book reads like somebody just slapped some sentences together and not worrying about the content.
Well, remember we were talking one of the other times we did this about somebody carrying a waiter's tray and with a bunch of papers on it and dropped it all over the place. It just each verse is one paper and they had to put them together in some manner, and that's the best I can figure this out.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
All
a
right,
chapter. I don't know how it's a chapter, but we'll put it together and we'll see what we can get.
Okay, number 8. That he establishes the truth and voids the vanity, even though the criminals hate it. Okay, why is everybody a criminal? Just because I don't believe in Allah, does that make me a criminal? Okay, number 9. When you call to your Lord, so he answered you. Okay, all right. Let me see. I'm not a native English speaker. So when you call to your Lord, so he answered you. Okay. Why isn't it? Why is he answered you in the past tense? But when you call to your Lord is in a present tense.
Yeah. So Allah answered you before you called, so he wouldn't answer you when you call.
Oh, so that's it. Allah is a mind reader. Now I get it. He answered you before you even asked him the question. All right.
Wait a minute. No, it's worse than that. Okay. Allah gives you an answer before you ask it, and then you don't think he's answering because he's not bothering with you.
All right.
That's his excuse.
Yeah, I will aid you with 1,000 angels, rank on rank.
Who cares? We don't even know what the guy's asking for. And that's it says when you call on your Lord. He didn't say he needed 1,000 angels worth of help.
Okay, now that I've read the other part, it does kind of make sense. So when you called to your lords, he answered you, I will aid you with 1,000 angels. But we don't know why he called. What was the purpose of the call that Allah said, I will give you or aid you with 1,000 angels? Now that makes more sense because
if we're going back to the beginning of this chapter, they're talking about raiding. And that's the only reason I can think they're talking about 1,000 angels.
Yeah, or somebody's fighting supposedly one battle. Okay, but still, we don't know what was the purpose of the call. Why was Allah giving him 1,000 angels? Because nowhere here is it talking about any battle that's coming that you would need 1,000 angels. So again, it's the unclear, or I should say the clear as mud book. We have no clue what did Muhammad or whoever this person is ask the Lord that he answered, okay, I'm going to aid you with 1,000 angels, rank on rank, whatever that means. Okay. And Allah did not make this except as good news and to assure your hearts by it. And the victory did not come except from Allah. Okay, so surely Allah is dear and wise. So clearly, we see that there was a battle, and Allah supplied 1,000 of his right-hand angels to fight the battle for the Muslims. But we've never read anything about a battle. So how this got in here, your guess is as good as mine.
We didn't. All we heard about was the booty from a battle. I mean, there was no reference to the battle. So they won something. There's booty that they're going to share, spoil. I mean, that's the other word is spoils, that they're going to share. And you're hoping they'll share. I mean, according to, if you look at the hadith and Muhammad gets 20%. I mean, and Allah gets what, 2.5?
Well, actually, the 2.5 is not for Allah. The 2.5 is supposed to be used for the Muslims, like the poor and this and that.
Well, no. The 2.5% gets divided up into 8 categories, and of that.
Oh, wait a minute. So it's 2.5 divided by 8. Well, that's a small.
Okay,
that's
now
a small fraction.
That it gets worse. Of that percentage that every Muslim must give, 12.5% must go to jihad for every Muslim who gives zakat.
Huh. Okay. Got to spread that peace, love, and happiness. Okay, so number 11, when sleep covers you, it is assurance from him, and he sent down water from the heaven on you to purify you by it, and cause the wrath of Satan to pass from you, and that he might tie on your heart and strengthen by it your feet. What is he going to tie on your heart?
That's really confusing. I mean, so
Now,
you're
and what does he
thinking
mean by sleep? Is this like you're dead?
when sleep covers you, it's assurance from him. Sent down water. So it sounds like you fell asleep. Somebody splashed water on you, and because someone splashed water on you, all of a sudden Satan's angry because you got woke up. or you know what? I have a clue here. You know, Satan's supposed to sleep in your nose in Islam. So, you know, maybe the water got splashed in the nose when the guy was sleeping, and Satan's angry because he got woke up.
I mean, that just does not make any sense, and I don't
No,
know
I
if it's
I don't get the he might tie on your heart and strengthen by it your feet. So, I mean, is Satan the one giving you strength if you follow Allah? That's what it looks like here.
I honestly I do not have a clue.
Oh, it's 8:11. Let me just see. I've got the task spheres open. Let me take a look. Some of this just again is so clueless. 8:11. Let's see. It's this is the clear as mud book, and these guys have to imagine they know the answers, which is bad. All right. When he made all right, so Jalal al-Jalalain. Okay. Remember when he caused slumber to everyone to overcome. Okay, let me just I'll share this. That's what I'll do first. And oh, I should put it over here then. And then I probably should grow it. Oh, the joy of life. Come on.
Yeah, joy of life. We're trying to figure out what am I going to eat today. Maybe I'll just make a milkshake.
All right, I'm going to share now. Okay. All right. So I'm going down. The mouse over there. There we go. Jalal al-Jalayan. Remember when he caused slumber to overcome you as security against that fear that had befallen you. I mean, there was nothing there that told us we had fear from God, and sent down upon you water from heaven to purify you, thereby from minor and major ritual impurities, and to remove from you the evil of Satan. His whisperings to you that you had been on the right path, you would not have been thirsty and impure, while the idolaters enjoyed access to water and strength. So, did you catch this? The idolaters had access to water. Apparently, you didn't. And to strengthen, to seal your hearts with certainty and endurance, and to make firm your feet, lest they sink in the sand. Yeah, but that doesn't make sense because the one who's making their heart, I mean, according to the Quran, go back and look at the Quran, pull that back up. Because it's implying that Satan is the one making their feet, that he might tie Satan, the wrath of Satan to pass from you, and that he might tie on your heart and strength by your feet. I mean, that almost looks like Satan. I mean, this is so unclear. It looks like Satan is the one tying on your heart and strengthening by your feet, the way I read this. But we can just look at it as Allah not clear.
Okay, to seal. Okay, I was going to say, where does Jalalain mention hearts? But it does say hearts. And this one says to tie your hearts. Okay, so here's talking about singular. Here's talking about hearts, as I guess meaning everybody's heart. To seal, to strengthen, to seal your hearts with certainty and endurance, and to make your feet firm.
Ibn Kathir says this is to do with this has to do with the Battle of Ahud.
Yeah.
Wow. And we can put that back up, and you'll see this part. I'm kind of surprised with Ibn Kathir. Slumber overcomes Muslims. He says, it says, Allah reminds the believers of slumber. He sent down on them a security from the fear they scoffed. Then after the stress, he sent down security for you. Slumber overtook a party of you while another party was thinking about themselves. Abu Talha said, I was among those who were overcome by slumber during the Battle of Ahud. The sword fell from my hand several times, and I kept picking it up several times. I also saw the companion's head nodding while in the rear guard.
Okay, wait a minute. These people were in a battle and they fell asleep while they were fighting?
Oh, yeah, you get beheaded while you're...
Did they like party hardy?
Definitely a bunch of drunks out with a sword.
See, this is what I mean, that these battles don't make sense. Okay,
slumber during battle is security from Allah.
I'm pulling up the Battle of Hud, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, there was the Muslims had 700 infantrymen. Original strength was 1,000 men, but Abdul ibn Ubay decided to withdraw 300 before the battle. Okay, so basically you have 700. Your opponent Abu Sufwan had 3,000 infantry with 3,000 camel and 200 cavalry. Now check this out. Over 3,000, you got almost 4,000 people fighting, right? And only 62 people died on the side of Muhammad, and 22 people, somewhere between 20 and 35 people supposedly were killed. What kind of battles are these that you've got 4,000 people fighting and not even 100 people killed? Was this like plastic swords?
Well, the truth of the matter is these battles take place, and I've got a book called the Battles of the Prophet. Page
yeah,
1.
I've got that book too. I haven't read it yet, but yeah.
Yeah,
but if you look at, okay, let me pull up the Battle of the Trench. See, because I like to look at the numbers.
Well, most of their battles were, I mean, you might have had tons of people, but only a few people would actually fight. And that's
what they stayed in the background and just, they were cheerleaders.
Yeah, that was their job primarily, unless somebody won, and then they went and went after the other.
Okay, check this out. This one's even worse. According to the source, the Battle of the Trench, okay, the Muslims had 3,000. The opponent, again, Abu Sufyan, had 10,000, and only 5 people died on the Muslim side, and only 10 people died on the opponent side. Are you kidding me?
Well, they got, I mean, there's a lot of stories behind that particular battle.
13,000 people are fighting.
They're not.
You've got only 15,000.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. They call it a battle between thousands, but again, most of the people were there just riding along. Okay, we're here, and they're going to watch individuals battle. Those were individual battles. They were not. I mean, they weren't out for blood. I mean, that's the stories. That's the evidence. I mean, you don't have. War is bloody. When you have hundreds of people out there in the battlefield fighting, you're going to have hundreds.
I mean,
tens and 20s. You're going to have a lot of dead.
You've seen the movies of the battles, like the Kingdom or something like that, where, I mean, you've got thousands on each side, and by the end of the battle, what do you have? You have the field is littered with dead bodies. I mean, hundreds.
You can look at the histories of it. There's little videos of the histories of Civil War here in the United States. There's videos. I mean, there's this story of the 300 of the Spartans, and when they're done, there's the body. And this is where this is just on. The story is, And if you're going to fall asleep in battle, I'm sorry, that's not security. That's a guarantee of your death. That's what it comes down to. I mean, you're
I
trying to
mean,
guarantee your death, and that just, yeah. And they're trying to make a bold statement that something's wrong. If
you,
Allah's dear and wise, why isn't He keeping them awake?
okay, you know what this tells me, that all of this crap is made up. None of these things ever happened. You can't have a battle with 13,000 people and only have 15 people die.
Well, this is, I mean, Eric talks about this on his show, Crossing the Crescent, where he talks about how there are possibilities that the Quran was, I mean, that we know that the Mecca didn't exist during that time frame. We know there's archaeological evidence. There's no archaeological evidence that Mecca existed. I mean, we could have some if they would allow archaeology to be done there. But there is evidence that where they now call Mecca was not where Mecca was.
Right. But
And
I mean, if you know anything about, militaries and fighting, you know that it's impossible to have 13,000 people fighting, especially when it's 3,000 against 10,000. You're looking at almost a 4-to-1.
yeah,
And
to slaughter.
and both sides together only lose 15 people.
And
There's no freaking way.
And I mean, there's some of these battles. You sit there, and when you look at I like this. This Dr. Muhammad Hamidullah, however you say it, Hamidullah, whatever, the Battlefields of the Prophet Muhammad. I recommend it because, I mean, it's pretty well. There's another one that's written by someone who has some military knowledge, and you sit there and you look at these things, and you have to sit there and marvel that we're talking about a few people dying, but again, most of them never used their sword in battle. And they just were cheerleaders. Yeah, you sitting up, somebody strikes someone else, go. yeah, that's all they did. And you'll see this in, who's the one that there's a video of some Greek myths where you have two people battling, and they have these huge armies behind them, but the champions go out to battle and the armies stand there cheering. Okay. So if one side wins, okay, they don't go kill the other side. If the other side wins, they might try and kill the other side. I mean, it's
just,
yeah.
Now we know that, like with David and Goliath, it was just between the two of them, and sometimes like
and when they won, the other side lost heart and they went and slaughtered them.
Yeah. So but it just, that was one of the things that years ago, it just amazed me as I'm looking at these battles, and I'm looking at the number of people that supposedly were fighting, and I'm looking at the number of people who were killed, and I'm thinking to myself, there is no way that you can have this amount of people supposedly in a battle and only have 10, 15 people die from a battle. It's just impossible. Where did we leave off? And Allah did make them, surely Allah there. Okay. When sleep covers you, said, okay. So, it comes a good one now. Chopping off the hands and the fingers of infidels who are opposed to Allah and Muhammad is taught here. All right. Well, we know in 533 we read about chopping off the fingers, or the punishment was death or crucifixion, which I still don't understand. Both of them are the same. They give you the same end result. You're dead. All right, 12. When your Lord revealed to the angels, I am with you, so make firm those who believed. I will cast a terror into the hearts of those who became infidels. So strike above their necks, meaning decapitation, and strike off, chop off every finger from them. Wow, I thought Muslims said there's no...
Wait a minute, isn't Islam supposed to be peaceful?
But I was going to say Muslims said you're not allowed to mutilate anybody. I
Oh
don't know,
yeah.
Paul. Does having your head chopped off and your all your fingers chopped off, does not qualify as mutilation?
Well, and then they
Especially given the fact that once your neck is chopped off, you're dead. So that means they're chopping off your fingers after you're dead. So they're
that's
mutilating you.
so they're mutilating dead bodies.
Yeah. And Allah is saying here that he's going to cast terror. And he's telling the angels. So
Well,
listen to
this
this.
is where David Wood comes out and he says to everybody, "Look, Allah is the God that created terrorism.
Yeah.
Allah creates terrorism. He's the one responsible for Islamic terrorism. I cast terror into the hearts of those who became infidels." Again, we became infidels because Allah doesn't like us, and that's okay. We
Hey,
don't
but check
care.
this out. According to verse 12, Allah is giving a pep talk to the angels. Because it says, when your Lord revealed to the angels, I am with you, so make firm those who believed. So this is a pep talk.
So the
I mean,
angels are supposed to firm up the
yes,
the
and
followers
it's
of
the
Muhammad.
angels
Yeah.
supposedly who are beheading and striking off every finger from the infidel. So Allah is giving a pep talk to his angels to tell them what to do: decapitate them, and then strike off every finger. This is a beautiful God who's
No,
telling
and
his
their
angels.
angels follow greatly. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, that's something.
And why is it that the angels are going to be cutting off your head and chopping off all your fingers?
Because
Because they have opposed Allah and his messenger. And
but
whoever opposes Allah and his messenger, so surely Allah is severe in the punishment. And surely we see here that getting your head chopped off and all your fingers chopped off, I'm surprised he didn't mention the toes. You know, if you're going to chop off the fingers, might as well chop off the toes, because I mean, by that time, what's the difference? Let's just chop off everything.
and this is
So
I mean, again, I think the big point here is we're not talking about mutilating a corpse. You cut the head off,
they're
and then
dead.
you cut the fingers off. I
Right.
mean, that's yeah.
Now, and it would be torture and really sick if you chopped off their fingers first and then you decapitated
Oh,
them.
read verse 14 there.
Okay, so Allah's messenger, surely Allah is severe in the punishment. That is, so taste it, and that to the infidels, the torment of the fire. So
Taste. Are we talking about taste the punishment or taste the blood of? This is really sick when you think about it.
I mean, I guess it's the punishment. I'm going to go and say that according to Arabic grammar, taster would go back to the punishment. This is where we need Mary or Osama.
Osama, yeah.
Okay. Hey, Matanga, good to see you. Thank you. I think we're down to Marion, Dragon, and now Matanga. So yeah, this is so when they say Islam is peace, ladies and gentlemen, we've just shown you that according to verse 12, Allah is casting terror into the hearts of those who became infidels, and he's instructing his angels to decapitate people and chop off every finger, simply because they have opposed Allah and his messenger. So it's not bad that they oppose Allah. You also have to oppose his messenger.
Hey, I'm going to do it.
He's always equating himself with somebody else. Isn't Allah associating himself with the messenger?
Allah and his messenger. Doesn't that make his messenger a partner?
I would think so. This in itself.
Again,
is
it doesn't say
associating,
prophet, it says messenger.
right? And if it said a warner or whatever, but the fact is, Allah is associating. He's got a partner, because when you say Allah and his messenger,
That's a
that
partner.
means you have to oppose Allah and his messenger. What if I just oppose his messenger? Would that be okay? Would I still get my head chopped off and my fingertips and my fingers chopped off from my hand? Because this is what Muslims don't understand. The Shahada. You have to believe in Allah and his messenger. Or actually not his messenger, and Muhammad is his messenger.
Mhm.
That is association. And Muslims
It's
tell us,
partnership.
yeah, association, partnership, an LLC.
And the funny thing about the Shahada is it's nowhere in Islamic scripture.
Yeah.
Nowhere in the Quran.
Oh,
It doesn't exist in the Quran.
So Muslims, this is for you. Muslim who turn away from engaging in war with infidels will burn in hell. So this is your incentive to come and fight the infidels, because if you're one of those Muslims and you say, no, I don't believe in killing the the Christians and the Jews, you're gonna burn in hell, because according to the Quran, if you don't fight the infidels, then you're just as guilty as being an infidel. And Allah is going to burn you, because he's such a good guy. 15. All you who have believed, when you meet those who became infidels marching, do not turn your backs to them. I mean, who goes fighting with their backs? Okay. And whoever will turn his back to them on that day, unless he turns away strategically to engage in a war or a rally, some other group, so indeed will return with wrath from Allah. So don't turn away from battle unless it is to engage in war or to rally some other group. Okay, so you're running away to get some guy. Hey guys, come on, man, I need your help. All right,
Well,
I'm running away. I'm getting help.
I think this message came, and there were several battles or actually these are raiding parties, that when Muhammad started out, he had several failed attempts to win, and people would turn around and run rather than killing. They're the ones getting killed, so they run away. So Muhammad had to come up with a solution. Okay, even if you think you're going to die, Allah's going to get you if you run, turn your backs and run. So, which would you like? God getting you, or the God who wants to kill you and torture you and enjoys doing those kind of things, or would you rather the humans get you?
One way or the other, you're probably better off getting killed by the humans, because then Allah gives you 72 hoes. But if you run away, Allah is going to make sure that you don't get 72 hoes, and you're gonna get the fire. You're gonna become the fuel for hell. Okay, whoever, okay, and hell is his abode, and wretched is the final place. So if you don't fight, if you chicken out, you know where you're going. You're gonna be that marshmallow that's gonna be roasted in an open flame. 17. So it was not you who killed him, but Allah killed him, and you did not throw the weapon of war when you threw, but Allah threw. Well, hey, this means that Allah was really crappy, because remember those battles where 13,000 people fought, but only 15 died?
Yeah.
Yeah, Allah was really shitty, So basically, this is the excuse. Don't worry about it. When you slice that guy's head off, you didn't really slice his head off.
And
Allah
he didn't feel those fingers being
off.
cut off. Don't worry about that. He was already dead.
Yeah, Allah did that. I mean, Allah just made it appear that you chopped off his head, just like he made it appear that Jesus was crucified. Don't worry about it. You had nothing to do with it. That blood on your sword, that's CGI. Allah killed them, and you did not throw them, and he would give you, okay, he killed them, but Allah killed them, and you did not throw the weapons of war, but Allah threw. And he would give the believer from it a good test. Okay. Surely Allah is hearing, knowing. Okay.
Doesn't sound like he knows much the way he writes.
No, not really. 18. That is, and that Allah hinders the scheme of the infidels. That is, and that Allah. Now, does that make sense to you, Paul?
That is, and that Allah hinders, and that scheme of, it's very unclear. It doesn't make any sense, and that is not a complete sentence.
Now, I did get the understanding that the infidels were scheming, but Allah hinders their scheme. But just the way that this is structured, it doesn't make sense.
Oh, it doesn't.
I don't even want to look at the Arabic. Okay, so 19. If you conquer, so indeed the conquest has come to you. And if you end it, it is.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Aladdin, if you're out there And you think you're such a genius. Please explain 8:18.
Yeah, I don't think Aladdin's got enough brain cells to explain anything. Okay, so if you conquer, so indeed the conquest has come to you. And if you end it, it is better for you. And if you will return, we will return. And your groups, even though they be many, will not profit you anything. And Allah is with the believers. That is one hell of a mind.
Nonsensical statement.
I have no clue what he's talking about.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
again, it's Allah.
if you
So
conquer,
you can't expect any common sense to be in it.
I mean,
Again, if we look at this as being a desert guy who doesn't understand Arabic very well, he's writing in a second or third or fourth language. That can explain some of this miscommunication, but that is a torrent of bad grammar.
and this is God, supposedly. And that's why I laugh when Muslims say, well, the Arabic grammar was created from the Quran. Are you kidding me?
Okay, so now you're not going to communicate clearly for the rest of your life.
I was going to say, if you took your grammar from this book, man, nobody's going to be able to understand any crap that you write. Okay, 20. Oh, you who have believed, obey Allah. Now, see, this is where we have a problem with Osama, because it really doesn't say, oh, you who have believed. It really should say, oh, you who believe, obey Allah and his messenger, and do not turn away from him while you hear. So does that mean I can turn away from him when I don't hear him? And do not be like those who say, we heard, and they did not hear. Oh, okay. Oops, what happened here? Do not be like those. Okay. All right. So Allah condemns all who cannot hear or talk as the worst creatures, because he knows there is no good in them. Now,
wait a minute. I mean, I've actually met some people who are deaf that are just wonderful.
Yeah.
But again, Allah is so limited that he doesn't know how to communicate with people who are deaf. And he doesn't know how to communicate with people who can't talk.
And would this be a literal hearing or talking, or
yeah, that's the way I would take this, because the description,
metaphorical.
Yeah, with deaf, I mean, Jesus, what did he do with the deaf and the dumb? He opened the ears of the deaf and they could hear. He healed them, and the dumb could speak.
This gets really good here.
This makes Allah such a small God.
Yeah. All the people that are, okay, yeah, read this beautiful.
Read this to the deaf people. Take this passage to deaf people. I'm sure they'll tell you what they think of this God.
Read this beautiful passage here, 22. Surely the worst creatures before Allah are the deaf, the dumb, and those who do not understand.
Oh, wait, could that be many Muslims who don't read this book?
I mean, seriously, if I'm reading this, I'm reading that Allah just called people who are deaf, people who are dumb, and those who do not understand to be creatures. That's what I understand, folks.
So
I don't know what
they
you
are
understand.
lower than human, not creation. Creation. I mean,
and check this out. And these people, they don't have a single iota of good in them. Okay, because 23 says, and if Allah knew of any good in them, well, what do you mean if Allah knew? Of course Allah would know. He's God. Why would Allah say, and if Allah knew if any good in them, he would have made them hear? And if he had made them hear, they would still have turned away and withdrawn. Okay, so obviously Allah doesn't do a good job, because according to this, even if Allah made you hear, you're still going to give the finger to Allah and say, you know what, Allah, I'm not buying it. But I like the part that Allah is calling the deaf, the dumb, and those who do not understand creatures.
That says something.
So, I mean, I'm taking this as literal. I'm not taking this as metaphorical, a parable.
Allah is deaf.
Allah don't like the deaf, the dumb, and those who are. But then that should apply to Muhammad, because Muhammad, he was dumb and he did not understand. After all, wasn't he illiterate? Right? I mean, he
Well,
was
I don't know.
illiterate.
DUMB would be not. I mean, there in this respect has to do with not being able to talk. I mean, he might be stupid, but yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
say stupid. Maybe that's okay. So Allah can love the stupid because they're willing to be compliant.
All right, 24. Yeah, we're almost at the 2-hour mark. 24. O you who have believed, answer to Allah and to the messenger. Again, you must answer to Allah and to the messenger. They're like conjoined twins. They cannot be separated, because if you separate them, one of them will surely die.
You know what? That's
Hey, I'm going to probably open up a room maybe tonight. Allah and Muhammad are conjoined twins. I'm going to piss some
I
people
like
off.
that one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll have to do that tomorrow.
Allah and his partner Muhammad.
Yeah, I'm just going to say Allah and Muhammad are conjoined twins.
I like it.
I'm going to have to do. Actually, I didn't even know that my boss was going to close on Monday. So I left on Friday and I said, hey, I'll see you on Monday. He says, no, you won't. So I'm like, oh, you got a meeting or something? He says, no, it's a holiday. We're closed. I'm like, okay, I'll see you on Tuesday.
Sounds good.
So I get to sleep an extra day in. Okay. 24, you who believed, answer to Allah and to the messenger if he calls you to that which gives you life. Okay. And know that Allah comes and between a man and his own heart, and that to him you will be gathered. Okay. And fear sedition, though it will not harm those who have specifically been treated unjustly among you. And know that you're going to be confused after. Allah is severe in the punishment. Yes, I think we've gotten that, and we've only gone through.
Allah keeps saying that over and over again. He's severe in punishing.
We've
Yeah,
only
he
gone
likes
through.
to punish.
Here, let me see something here. I'm just out of curiosity. I'm going to put punishment. 347 times is the word punishment used.
Now check how many times the reward is used.
Punish is only 38. So if you add punish and punishment, okay, let's see, reward. R-A-W-A-R, rewards. Only 136. So man, you're skewed. Allah is not a very good. Yeah. So 136 verses have reward, and what did I say?
36 with
347. 347 use the word punishment.
Wow.
So Allah is a God of punishment.
I think you said there was 36 with just the word punish too.
Yeah. So if you add the two together, so it's 373.
Wow, that says something about Allah.
Oh, here we go. Let's see the word love. 53 times, but if you read some of them, it's not love like Allah loves you.
Allah does not love.
Yeah.
It says. How about the hate then? Let's look up hate.
Hate. Hate's only 6 times.
Now, okay, let's try it the other way. Does not love. Can you get that together?
I can. I don't know if does not love. Let me see if he'll pick that up. Oh my God, 3,137.
It sounds wrong.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is that it's picking up does not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not being okay. Let me see if I can do it to where it just it does not just pick up does
Put
not.
a quote around not
Does
love.
not.
Put
Yeah,
quotes around. Get rid of does and put not love.
Okay, show options. Okay, show options. Okay, show options. Search for the words, search for the substrings, search for the exact phrase. All right, let's see the exact phrase. Okay, yeah, there is no phrase that says does not love.
Yeah, we've read some.
if you do for exact phrase. So okay, but
Interesting.
Allah is, but see, but even the love part, Allah is a conditional um, God. So if you do A, then Allah will do B. But if you don't do A,
You
you're
don't
not
get
going to
me.
get you're not going to get B, but you are going to get tormented in hell. Okay, Allah is severe in the punishment. 26. And remember when you were few and weakened on the earth, you feared that people might snatch you. So he sheltered you and supported you with his victory and provided you from the good things. Perhaps you may give thanks. There goes that perhaps.
Yeah.
Hell, I am not going to give you some
Allah
good
doesn't
things.
know.
I mean, seriously, I am not going to provide you with good things and you don't thank my ass. I'm going to take those good things back.
Oh,
Okay.
when somebody gives you a gift, it's proper manners to say thank you.
It almost sounds like Allah's trying to bribe you. 27. Oh, you who have believed, do not betray Allah and the messenger, and betray those who trust you. And you know, I know what? Again, we got Allah and the messenger, the conjoined twins, Allah and Muhammad. Okay, oh, here's a good one. And know that your money and your children are only a sedition, and that Allah has a great wage. Did that make sense to you?
That makes no sense at all.
Your money and your children are sedition.
So your money and children are against are I mean, sedition has to do with slowing down things. This stopping things from happening correctly. In the process of government, it's stopping or slowing government. And when you think about that, this is quite a yeah. I keep looking for other work that I do. I keep looking up the U.S. Code on sedition, and that's exactly what it is. It has to do with slowing or stopping the entity known as government. So if you can slow and stop Allah, it doesn't make him a very big God.
Okay, I think in here, this sedition really means a trial. But that sedition is a bad choice because I'm looking at the Islam Awakened, and it says, and know that your wealth and your children are a trial, and that Allah with him is a reward great. That would make more sense to say your wealth and your children are a trial.
Okay.
The sedition part, I'm thinking
Doesn't
government. I'm thinking the people that need to go to jail,
Yeah.
certain individuals.
Oh, especially those 2,000 mules we've heard about recently.
Yeah. So I mean, I did see there was one of the mules. I forgot what state it was. The local sheriff wanted information on who that mule was, and it looked like a lady, a middle-aged lady. So who knows? Maybe something is actually going to be done.
Would be
with those
nice.
mules. Okay, so what do we got? 7 minutes. Okay, Allah has a great wage. Okay, 29. O you who have believed, if you fear Allah, he will make discrimination for you and will atone from you your evils and will forgive you. Allah is the possessor of the great bounty. What does he mean? O you who have believed, if you fear Allah, he will make discrimination for you. What?
Yeah.
All right, let me go see what this guy
Again,
says.
we're looking at how the Quran is clear as mud.
All right, let's see what these guys.
Did you get dropped out? Can't
Will
hear you.
remove from you your evil deeds and forgive you, and Allah, possessor of the bounty, the great. Okay, I'm honestly, I mean, I love Brother Usama, but are these guys here trying to fool us?
Hold on a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to call it a day. So we ended up on 8 8:30. Allah is the best deceiver. It is claimed that the Quran is the legends of the ancients. I'd like to thank all the people that were here: Marion, Dragon, Jesus, and it was a few others. Thank you for coming. Matenga. If you guys are on as clear as the ink and Alex, yes. If you guys are on Clubhouse, which I would recommend you join, we do rooms there. Find us over there. I am, I don't know, my name keeps changing. I am Abdul Not today. And the other one, I am on my alias, my other account is called Sheikh Akbar.
Sheikh Akbar.
Yes, but it's the Akbar in Hebrew, so it means Sheikh Mouse. And you know, I went into a Muslim room and they kicked me out.
Oh.
I was wondering why. So, Paul, we're going to pick up next time on number 30, 8:30.
Definitely. All right.
Allah is the best of the
I got a lot of the times. I'll send them to you later.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. God bless you,
God
folks.
bless.
Enjoy if you're in America, and hopefully you have Monday off, enjoy your Memorial weekend. Please don't forget those who died so that you and I could have the rights that certain individuals are trying to take away from us.
Did you see what Jesus Worldwide said? Allah should have used clear ink. He would have looked so silly.
Yes, he would. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the people that came here. It's appreciated. Oh, I found out that, okay, let me